someone asked for me to chew gum and react to the Sonic movie, speaking of blue hair. So I'm not gonna do that, but I will tell you why. I don't own the movie. That's literally the only reason. Also, they deleted their comment. It's just not there anymore, but someone put that on there and I was like, I would. I watched it. I liked the Sonic movie. Thank you. I saw it when the day it came out on Valentine's Day, and I took my spouse to go see it because I believe in true romance. Anyway, happy Halloween to everybody. You can hear my little earrings going. If you can see, it's a nice little spooky tree with a little ghosty goo here and a little pumpkin. And I've got my black velvet shirt on and a nice orange look on the eyes. Not going too overboard this year, mostly because I have to stay inside. But I got a couple of things whipped up for the later in the day, and I thought for you all, I could go ahead and read a couple of spooky stories to get you in the spirit. So, without further ado, let me pull up my phone here and read you some spooky stories. So this first one is an American folklore story called The Golden Hand by S.E. Slosher. Alright, I think actually over on this side might be a bit better for me. Yep. He never paid much attention to the neighbors living on his city block until the day the pretty middle-aged widow moved in 2 doors down from him. She was plump and dark, with sparkling eyes, and she always wore dark gloves on her hands, even indoors. He went out of his way to meet her, and they often bumped into each other in the street and stood talking. One day, she brushed the hair back from her forehead, and he caught a glimpse of gold under the right glove. Under the glove on her right arm. The right glove. When he asked her about it, she grinned. I have never seen this word before in my life. Coquettishly. We're Googling that right now. We're learning today. Mercedes and gentle them. Coquettishly is flirtatious. Okay, you're just trying to make yourself look more intelligent using that word. Just write flirtatious. Don't overdo it. Jeez. She grinned coquettishly and told him that she had lost one hand a few years back and now wore a golden hand in its place. In that moment, a terrible lust woke in his heart, not to possess the lady herself, but to possess the solid gold hand that she wore under her long black gloves. He courted the widow with every stratagem known to him. Flowers, trips to the theater, gifts, compliments, and he won her heart. Within a month, they were standing in front of a minister, promising to love one another until death parted them. Within another month, he was a widower and had buried his ailing wife in the local cemetery without her golden hand. It had been so easy, a slow poison administered daily to resemble a wasting disease. No one, not even his wife, not the family doctor, not their neighbors, suspected murder. And the night after the funeral, he slept with the golden hand under his pillow. It was a dark night. Clouds covered the moon, and the wind was whistling down the chimney and rattling the shutters of the townhouse. He was deeply asleep when the door to his room slammed open with a loud bang, and and a wild wind whipped around the room, scattering papers and books and clothing and table coverings every which way. He sat up, startled by the sudden noise, and his pulse began to pound when he saw a greenish-white light bobbing slowly into the room. Before his eyes, the light slowly grew larger, taking on the shape of his dead wife. She was missing one arm. "Where is my golden hand?" she moaned, her dark eyes blazing with red fire. "Give me my golden hand." He tried to speak, but his mouth was so dry with fear that he could only make a soft gasping noise. The glowing phantom moved closer to him, her once lovely face twisted into a hideous green mask. "You stole my life, and you stole my hand. Give me back my golden hand," the dead wife howled. The noise rose higher and higher, and the phantom pulsed with strident green light that smote his eyes, making them water. He cowered back against his pillows, and the hard shape of the golden hand pressed against his back, and then he felt the golden hand twitch underneath him as the mingled green phantom that had been his wife swooped down upon him, pressing his face against the pillow in a suffocating green cloud. He tried to scream, but it was cut off suddenly by a terrible pressure against his throat, cutting off his breath. The world went black. The next morning, the housemaid came into the room with her master's morning cup of tea, and she found him. Alright, this next one is an excerpt from Spo0ky, Massachusetts, called Black Magic. Mad Henry was a hermit who lived alone in a decrepit mansion at the edge of town. Rumors were rife about the wild-eyed man. Some folks said that he was a magician who called upon the powers of darkness to wreak havoc upon his neighbors. Others called him a mad doctor who could restore life to foul corpses from the local cemetery. No respectable citizen in town had anything to do with Mad Henry. Then one year, a new family moved to town with a lovely daughter, Rachel, who caught Mad Henry's eye. He showered the maiden with gifts, goblets of pure gold, necklaces of pearl, and a pot of daisies that never dropped a single petal. Despite the gifts, Rachel fell in love with another, Joffrey, a handsome young man just home from university. A week after meeting, they eloped, leaving behind a stunned Mad Henry. When Rachel and Joffrey returned from the elopement, they threw a big ball and invited everyone in town. While Rachel was waltzing with her father, she heard a clap of thunder. Lightning flashed again and again. Suddenly, the double doors blew open, and a breeze whirled in, bringing with it the smell of a dead, decaying thing. You notice how both of them had the doors just bursting open and swirling. Maybe that's gonna happen to you on Halloween. Ooh. Mad Henry loomed in the doorway, pupils gleaming red with anger. He was followed by the grotesque figures of the dead, who came marching 2 by 2 into the room. Their eye sockets glowed with blue fire as they surrounded the room. 2 of the corpses captured Joffrey and threw him down at the feet of their lord. Red eyes gleaming, Mad Henry drew a silver-bladed knife and casually cut the bridegroom's throat from ear to ear. Rachel screamed and ran forward, pushing through the foul, stinging corpses of the dead, and flung herself upon her dying husband. "Kill us both," she cried desperately. But Mad Henry plucked the last out of the pool of blood surrounding her dead husband and carried her out into the thundering night. Behind him, the army of the dead turned from the grisly scene and followed their master. The sounds of thunder and lightning faded away as the alchemist and his dead companions disappeared into the dark night. Rachel's father gathered a small mob and followed the evil hermit, intent upon saving Rachel. When they searched Matt Henry's house, they found it completely empty save for a light, which shone from a series of mysterious globes that bobbed near the ceiling of each room. Matt Henry had vanished. Search parties scoured the countryside for days, but turned up nothing. Joffrey was buried at the local cemetery. The dance hall was torn down. No one in town spoke about what had happened. No one dared to imagine what became of poor Rachel. A year to the day after the ball, a timid knock sounded upon the door of Rachel's parents' home. When her father opened it, he saw a gaunt, gray figure on the stoop. Her eyes were dull with exhaustion and pain. It was Rachel. Her tongue had been cut out so she couldn't speak, but when she produced a knife from her tattered garments, the knife with a silver blade that they had last seen in the hands of Matt Henry, the gleam of satisfaction in Rachel's eyes told them that the streaks of blood coating the knife were those of Matt Henry. That night, Rachel died in her sleep with a peaceful smile upon her ravaged face. Well, that one was a bit macabre. That one's about accepting the fact that people might not be interested in you. There is always some kind of lesson to be learned in these. I think we have time for one more. So let's do... Let's see. Oh, Storm Mag sounds cool. We're going with Storm Mag. This is from Spo0ky, Pennsylvania, which is where I was born. And actually, this takes place around where I was born as well, up in Erie. She lurks below the surface of the lake near Presque Isle, her lithe form forever swimming through the weeds and the mire. Pale and green of skin, yellow eyes shine luminously in the dark, and her thin, long arms wrap themselves around the unwary, while the foul green pointed teeth sink into soft flesh and sharpened nails at the end of her long, bony fingers stroke you into the deepest sleep there is. She is called by many names, but to the sailors of Lake Erie, she is known as the Storm Hag. The creature is a sea witch, an evil Jenny Greeneth. What does that mean? Who summoned the storms and pulled shipwrecked sailors down into her evil embrace to live with her forever at the bottom of the lake. Sometimes she waits until the calm right after the storm to attack, when the sailors relax their guard, lulled into thinking that the danger had passed them with the storm. The danger had passed them with the storm. The storm hag burst forth from the dark waters of the lake, spewing forth lightning and wind like venom. The ship will vanish, never to be seen again. There's only one warning before she strikes. If you listen closely, you can hear her sing against the harsh wind and thrashing waves. Come into the water, love, dance beneath the waves, where dwell the bones of sailor lads in my saffron cave. What's a saffron cave? Their stomach. If you can, flee immediately, for the storm hag is right beside you. If you cannot, then pray to your God for mercy, for the storm hag will grant you none. Her whirlpool will suck down your ship, and her long green arms will lovingly stroke you into the depths of the lake, where she will feast upon your body among the weeds. Spooky. Get my little earrings clicking in here just a bit. Perfect. Well, those were certainly a bit macabre, but nice and spooky for Halloween. I genuinely hope that this is happening